Calling him on which are younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even though I'm that strict, so that is the right. Okay. Well, how much I'm doing? Us. Morning. Even the hands over.
When you send the Aleichem.
When can you go?
What's your name?
When you go there.
Aleichem Avram. Yeah, sure.
You're staying with your chicken.
So I don't have to wait.
Oh, very nice. Ellie, good morning.
Wait there. So
Okay. L'chaim, good morning.
you call me and get there. Yeah. Okay. So thanks.
Am I the
Sure. Sorry.
what?
Okay. Someone asked me, his son has a collection, a coin collection. So he got a couple of coins lately. And one of the coins had a Shesi V'erev cross on it. So the shaila was, they're allowed to keep it, resell it, could he have an off from it? What's the din? That was his question. This is really a question that's been dealt with a lot, as there are countries that I think the Swiss,
Crossed on the flag open.
right. So
The Union Jack for all the British countries.
the what?
The Union Jack, that's the flag of England, Britain. It's all a bunch of crosses that represent the different saints
Uh-huh.
from England and Scotland and Wales and all of that.
Uh-huh.
That's how the British thing.
Uh-huh. Right. And so you have this shaila is not. This is not. The shaila has been dealt with. And so okay, let's look into this. Let's look in the Shulchan Aruch. Let's start in the Shulchan Aruch. Pasuk b'Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch says in Yeridea, Kol Atzlomim, not in the tshuva and the words that I typed. Pasuk b'Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch says in Yeridea, Kol Atzlomim shalavetz kechavim. The words that I typed. Kol Atzlomim shalavetz kechavim. If there's a statue of Avetz Kechavim to Bekvarim, Asurim the Mustamad Hashem Alilum Nasim, Tzom Bekrachim, Batarim the Vadil Noy Nasim. The Shulchan says if unless he's standing at Pesach Medina with a stick in his hand, so obviously it wasn't Lenoy, but it was done L'Shem Alilum. So basically, we're saying from the Gemara Memalef and Avodah Zorah that it depends in a place that that this statue is Avetz Kechavim, it's also, and if it's Lenoy for beauty, it's Mutter. Hagoah, which is the words of the Ramah. The Ramah says, "Surah shemishtachem amloi dinik dinatzalam v'aser b'la bitul." Aval oison shetoilim b'tzavar lezikon l'mikret tzalam umuter.
Put on the neck, mutter.
So the thing is that there is a girsa issues. Obviously, the problem is there's a girsa issue. The real girsa probably should be that Shesi ve'erev shemishtachevim lo dinik tzalam v'aser b'la bitul. Aval Shesi ve'erev shetoilim b'tzavar lezikon l'mikret tzalam umuter. So why should the Ramah is saying that the Shesi ve'erev that the goyim hang on their necks was a very popular thing then and also today. To have like that old Jewish joke about this guy, about the jewelry the dealer who's calling his friend in Arkansas, and he's ordering for Yotzmach time. He says 50 azoy and 50 azoy. So he says with the mamzer, without the mamzer. He thought he's dealing with some guy in Arkansas.
I'm allowed to say to Goy, I work in restaurant, but if you wear this, I told him this is Jewish restaurant kosher, you're not allowed to wear. I can tell him that. According to this act. I told him to put it here, but he put it out there.
He could sue you.
I can tell him.
He could sue you.
Huh?
He could sue the restaurant.
This is my question. You can sue the restaurant. I told him you're working in a kosher restaurant, this blood kosher restaurant, they're all Jewish here. Please put it inside. He dafka put it outside.
He works here.
You work for me here.
Your question is a good question. This is a question really we're dealing with now. It's a very good question.
Yeah.
The Shach writes. So before we go to the Shach, so the Gaon says that that in the beginning of the Ramah he says it's asur, and then it says mutar. When is it asur? If it's like the Tzlomim, which we know that they serve l'shem avodah zarah, and when we know it's l'shem noi, it's for beauty. See, the thing is that some read, you'll see soon in the tshuva that I brought from the Moshe Feinstein, they read the Ramah a little differently. It's also a shayla how you read the Rishonim. They read, they would probably have a different gis, and they read, that they read it that the shesiv erev that the goyim have on their necks, it's jewelry. They're reading it not depends. Some shesiv erev it seems like some acharonim learned that shesiv erev is not an avodah zarah. It's just a symbol that the goyim believe that the Chacham Yisrael thought that he is a Meses Mediach, and therefore they killed him, and they hung him on a tree or whatever. They hung him up, and the goyim do it l'siman, but not that they are mishtah. That's not an avodah zarah. So in other words, there's two ways of learning the Ramah. One way of learning the Ramah is they say it depends. You have to know. This cross that the guy is hanging up right now, is he bowing to it, or is he doing it as a piece of jewelry? That's one way of reading the Ramah. Another way, which is a reading the Ramah, is no, all the crosses are not avodah zarah. The cross is not an avodah zarah. That's another way of learning it. We're really upset, a little bit of a metzias, is how to read the Ramah. In other words, did the Ramah say that I know that crosses are not an avodah zarah? The goyim, they don't bow to the cross. They bow to avodah zarah, but the cross is not an avodah zarah. The cross is a siman bi'alma for Oisa Ish being killed. So that's the shayla a little bit. The Shach writes, Aaron, what do you think? What's the pshat in the Ramah? Is the pshat that the Ramah is saying that a shesiv erev is totally not an avodah zarah, or only if it's hanging on a person's neck? It's not an avodah zarah.
Well, I can tell you two actual things that happened. Number one, I wanted to get a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
But the problem was the cross on it.
Yeah.
So what I thought was this, that there's nothing inherently wrong with the cross. It's just the Christian connotation that it has. And so I really think most Swiss people in Switzerland really are religious Christians. It's like a remote thing they inherited from the Middle Ages. But in any event, I just didn't feel comfortable with it. So finally, I found from a different company, they have the same thing as a Swiss Army knife, and it has also, of course, but a very inconspicuous one.
Wow.
So that didn't bother me.
I hear.
That's one thing. And the second thing, how much Manasseh has still happened. If you remember many years ago, the Pope wanted to visit the Beit Knesset in Rome.
I don't remember it, but
There's a big thing that they were going to do. The previous Pope, they wanted to make peace between the Jews and the Christians. And so one of the things he did was they wanted to come to visit, make a public visit to the shul in Rome. Now, the chief rabbi at the time said he would have preferred it if he didn't offer to do it. But since he offered to do it, he can't refuse it. The question was, what about the crosses? So what they decided was that the cross that he wears on his neck, he can wear, because that's just part of his clothing. But the staff that he carries, he cannot take, because that's a symbol of his authority. And in the shul, you don't have a Christian doesn't have any authority.
did he follow the through?
Yeah.
Did he not come in with a stick?
Right, he came with the cross on his neck, but not the staff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you. So again, that's the shaila here. Did the Ramah say that the cross is never an avodah zarah, it's only l'zikaron b'alma, or did he say that if the guy is toilet b'tzaver, that's l'zikaron b'alma? The Shach says, "Hainu v'yidu shelo yishtach b'loy." The way the Shach learns is clear. The Shach says that what the Rama is talking about a case is yidu shelo yishtach b'loy. Also, lashmin glotem mekim shetoilet b'tzaver miyad nesa. Alavachi. Loy gorem in motzakelim shalem tzuras avetz kecham dakelim asurim imem mechubadim the kimish derek lavud. Oisa tzurich hashene shemen avda akelim. Just like we say in the Nikalakamon Gimel that if you have an avodah zarah, on top of him there is kelim, and there is a jacket on the avodah zarah. So we scared that the avodah zarah is also the jacket is part of the avodah zarah. V'chalami kilomeich shlachim ev kechavim atzma in l'chalak bein. The dafke bekelim amrin dalma was and vade lanoya keli naso mit enken hochon that it's shy that this is itself the avodah zarah. Matzose baram pede kolat slam and bezel shayne also varaj but the bezman ze shchikim khakak bekelim umatzayim behem demus sudas demus avetz kham af moitzes akelim asurim that the Rashba wrote. It's obviously from the context you realize that they're talking about a cross. Just like in the Shulchan Aruch, there was a censor that took out words. Also here, it seems pretty clear that he was talking about a cross. V'tzorich la'ayin she'ef she'ein oivdim hayoyim l'tzuras halolu elo l'zecha ba'alma oisin oisin ad kol lashon haran. The Ran says that tzorich maybe it was only l'zecha ba'alma. But he's not makel in Gansen. He just says maybe. I think also so if it's talking about a cross, it sounds like that they're talking about a cross, and the Rashba says l'chumra, and the Ran is saying I'm not sure. Maybe it's l'zeicha b'alma, but he's not also being makel. I think also be Ruchim. Ve'efsher he writes Evikachavim Eila she'enam adukim avitzchavim kol ma she'oisim tzuras Eila bekelim ein moisan l'lono yumutar v'ano v'osa l'shoisim l'shum chshad me'bolt and v'ro la'achba b'sofi shal toida. Adkan. And then he says, "Ve'efsher b'tzura atzmoi kimish mishtachim loy l'kul alma osa." So I think what he's saying, b'tzura atzmoi means that the goyim a lot of times make an akeli b'tzura of Yoshka and his mother, Yoshka Pendrik. And then on the same thing, there's in his hand and her hand, in both their hands, there is a shesi ve'edet. So he's saying the tzura of Yoshka Pendrik, him and his mother, one of them, that's bestama. The tzura atzma, we say bestama l'kul alma osur. But the shesi ve'edet, there's a shaila. So
we have to worry about that.
Huh?
So we have to worry about the times they lived in wherever he lived in Krakow, right?
Yeah, I think
Somebody influences.
no. I think I have. You see, in the Moshel, there is in the Shalos Chuvas that the Chachmei Sfarad were very machmir.
Right.
So if I want to be cynical, I could say like this: it wasn't very expensive for the Rashba and for the Avkas Reichel for the Beis Yosef to say it's Avodah Zarah. There's a whole long shaila in the Avkas Reichel, and there's a tshuva in Simas Samaches about an Arab who sold a gold dish to a Yid, and when the Arab left, the Yid gave him to B'nai Shalom. On the other side, it was a tzura of a mother and a child, and they're holding a shesav yerev in their hand, and the mother was pregnant, and the baby's in the stomach. It's a yoshke, no. So one of us matir. He says so it's a suffix, maybe the Yushmaya. First of all, maybe it's not. That's what I never. And if it is, the Yishaeli might have made it. He doesn't. And even if a Nazi made it, maybe it was Mavatlid. And the Beis Yosef was very machmir. He says, first of all, who told you they're not serving this as an avodah zarah? Who told you the cross on the Yoshka Pendrik is not an avodah zarah? It is an avodah zarah. And to say a suffix that the Yishmaeli made it, we know the Yishmaelim don't make it. Oh, you see a funny thing. The Yishmaelim, even if they're most of the Yishmaelim are fray, the Palestinians, are they frum? No. 99% are fray. They're not frum. But still, they're very makbir.
That's what jihad to Jews.
Oh, that one thing, that's for sure. But not to do avodah zarah. They're very makbir. You remember that there was in France there does gemach platzones. There's some things, but they're very makbir. Malachta from Zenovi. Also avodah zarah. They're very. Remember they went into one of the countries and right away there was old statues remember which country it was, and they took, it was a few years ago, and the Weltgeschichte in Karahu, there was old Avodah Zorahs, a few thousand years old, that was considered antique, Sheba antique, and they went there right away, broke the Avodah Zorahs. They went in the these guys, even though they're not so frum, but they're very makbid not to have avodah zarah. So I forget which country they conquered. Some country. It was a brouhaha. The whole world, the Nazis were going crazy over it. Some old Buddhas or something, some alta avodah zarahs that they were mashkes right away. Just say about some country they went in, some ancient avodah zarahs, and right away they came into that country. Right away they smashed up these avodah zarahs. If only we had learned from them, and that's it. They were not in the spol, didn't care. The world scrammed. They scrammed for 30 minutes in the next cycle of news.
You know the story with the Rabbi over there,
What?
he went to Spain to visit. Kings of Spain gave him a present, nice big picture. Took it home and he hung it up in the house. A couple of weeks later, he went to the one Chikle Mezuzah, Shemtov, what's his name? He passed away, but his son taking over. He checked his cloth of the mezuzah. Tell him he had a cross in the house. So the Rabbi said, they turned over the whole house to check, and then somebody said, "Look at this picture." They turned around, was a cross in the back, and on this picture was a cross.
Right.
So
Okay.
took it off.
So the Sfardim are very machmir. He says, what kind of svek do they have here? He says, there's no shy. The Shmuel is never going to make, but so I would say cynically like this. It was easier for the Sfardi poskim to say that a cross is a suffix avodah zarah was much easier because it wasn't a shaila of every day.
They lived among
They lived mostly among Muslims. And so okay, but anyway, so it's not chas v'sholem. Although a little bit there is that there. So the thing is, the problem over here, so much in the Shulchan Aruch is censored. What is talking about what? But anyway, I think the Untershashur is like this. Oh, by the way, we're already talking about stories. So we'll get to stories in a second. Okay, so it seems that. The Rishonim, it's a big discussion. Like in England, at the Yamazed, there were Eden that got medals from the Queen. All these things have Shesaviyah. All of them have Shesaviyah. And the post can deal with it. The post can deal with it. I think it comes down to really. I see Bein Ashuras that some post can thought that when the Ramos said it's Lazikoran, he meant that all the Shesaviyah is only Lazikoran Ba'alma and it's not an Avodah Zarah. And others read. No, that it isn't avodah zarah, and depends from that. Listen, is this meant avodah zarah? Or this was meant l'noi ba'alma. I want to show you mashal tshuva, pure geschmack tshuva from the Igris Moishe. Turn the page, on the other side, I have for you a beautiful. It's very readable, very easy.
So it's still another trial.
You see that Ramo was mekel. He said that oisim sheterlam etzavar lezikorin loy mikrit tzelem. He's medamit to the things that are nasalanoi.
It's not permissible, but that's a law. I don't think any Christian believes that the cross itself was God. It's just like a
right,
but still, it's not Israel.
It could. You have a point, and this is the way the Moshe learns in the Tosis. Let's read the tshuva. Masha shol malos kvoide be'efet shemiskorehu limker stems leilo ha'oivim lakabel stems. We call them medinas. It's a big business. Maybe Amal was even a bigger business than today. V'yesh medinas shem etzayarim ala stems koimnim v'shesev erev shalem and mutar le'liskir bazeh. Hine elaniz daiti ein lesse. Der raket tzura shal madbeyes shekotz v'atoises v'rosh b'shabes afkuf memtes Amid Aleph the Bermatzal v'diyuk mutar the mashma mereb Nachman bereb Simoi. The Gemara says that Rabbi Nachman was called Benon Shel Kedosh. Mishum Dalom Estakel Betzurit the Zuzah. He didn't look at the Zuz because the Zuzim they used to have on it a Tzura of Avodah Zarah Mashma Kilo. Machlal the Chin have him Estakli. Because of the Tosus Atam, Mishum Derak, Shavi Lishem Avedis Gilulim Omesh Os Lestaklaba. Av Keshanasa Lunoi Mutter. Because it was Nasa Lunoi, it's Mutter. But he was a Chassid, and he didn't even look, because he didn't want to look, even though it was Nasa Lunoi. But Tamza Shaykh Ab Betsura Shala Stemps. Shaloi Nasa Ela Lunoi Lusim Kamayla Madbeya. That it's Betzim, it's Mutter. Someone is a big chassid. Vayim b'toisves avodah dafnu mit der maskil hakiyasinen shekosvu tam acher beheter istaklos b'madei kimit sheragel is toder l'shayich bei afno. The Gemara says, it says al tifna al lilim, whole thing. The Gemara says, and the Gemara the Gemara says that the Menachem was benan shel kedoshim. He never looked at a madbeya. So Tosis says that because a rogel lead is todir, it's a very pshat. What Tosis is saying, a rogel lead is todir. So it sounds almost from Tosis that it is not avodah zara. Alamai, because it's a rogel lead is todir, machnish tois.
But where you use all the time. That's why I said todir.
I understand, but l'chayda, what is Tosis saying? But it's an avodah zara. You're not supposed to have it in your hand. You're not supposed to own it. So that. So that's what he's answering. Pasha, chain become awesome shore hurgally the roisa. Imkain yikshe ech hurgally met skilla the rest but soras on the back. Vegam ech mutter be madbe chadosha. Shlamatzin kolog was it. Vegam, so whenever a new madbe is going to come out with a tzura in it, you're not allowed to handle with it. Vegam ech mutter oni shlemotze it's lamadbeis. No, that's not what Tosis meant. Peter Shu the Chachma shenas leaders but todir loikish derech sharav the zora. Shenak Sarak Listakal above, Shadotsim of them. So the Himtosis meant it's taken out of the Zara. That this is not made as an about not obviously it's not made about the Zara, but even Kilu to say that a Bizarai about the Zara, that's fourth, it's made Listakal about, nah, it's not that. Lo Shaya Chafno Bistaklos, given the Yadu Lachol. He's saying Tosis didn't mean to say that the Shaykh of the Zara. Obviously, there's no the Zara here. Tosis meant to say that fourth, there's something Kila and Abazarai about the Zara that you shouldn't be mistakel. He says no, because the people are always mistakel, there's not an issue. In Kain, Gamma Stem, Umamish Kain, the Nasa leaded by Todir, Lutzoidach, Shiet classes by Stem, Shu, Lad Bikim, Bamachtov, Makadam, Al Capone, Boys, Atam, Shamuta, Listakel, Bamadbeis, Yeshagam, the Stemps. So he says we see that the place going to make it's mutter listakel b'madbeis. Madbeis, which madbeis are we talking about? That had in it that surah that l'chayda was avodah zara. But we're saying that because it's on a madbeia, it must be one Tosis says befedish that because it's avodah zara must be lanoi and not avodah zara. And the second Tosis doesn't say befedish, but he means it that it's. That even you're going to say it's lanoi, but it's a pasnish vayit to look at it because it's altif, not pasnish. That it's also because altifna lalilim, but over here is not shaykh altifna lalilim. It's not an avodah zara and it's not altifna lalilim. Okay, that's the bottom line. So whatever is good for the madbeya is good for the stamp.
What, they have stamp with cross?
Yeah, from countries. Magam loy boru release shia b'chlal isa listakel shes verishem. The yoyse noite shaleke isa. Oh. See, till this piece, the Moshe is going kilo with maybe Taka Shesabi Erev is Avodah Zorah. But whatever, every Avodah Zorah that we say it depends if it was made law of Illinois. And by Madbeis, Tosfos said that the Gemara says that the Gemara says that when a Menachem passed away, we're now dealing with Shabbos Mavorchim 30 years of the Elul of the Rebbe. So it's Ashgacha Protis. When the Gemara says when Menachem was nostalgic, all the Gemara says in Moed Katan, the Tosfos brings it. The Gemara says that when Menachem passed away, all the Avodah Zorahs in the world, their faces got like nishkas, like a nes. And it's mashma from Tosfos Kilu that what Tosfos is saying is that that's fus. The fus of that he was never mistakel, but Suras Madveya. So we see from here a Dovar Pella that the Tanya says from the Maimar Chazal, the Tanya that we learn in Simon Chav Zayin Chav Pesach Geras HaKodesh, that the tzaddikim they have a stronger power after their stalkers than in their lifetime. And Menachem in his lifetime but never looked at a Tzuras Matbeya. He didn't want to look at the Tzura of an Avodah Zarah. Eve, like Tosis is saying, obviously it can't be halacha, because halacha is every Yid has to do it, not what about Menachem. Not to eat pork, me and you also can't eat pork. And Menachem given a chiddush that even though that the Matbeya is made, Lenoi, and even though that you'd say that there's no Easter Istaklos because there's a Regilimba, but he didn't want to. That's chus. After he passed away, was a nest that the Avodah Zarahs all were nishchas. Let's go to the next piece of the Igris Moshe. Yisrael Istakol b'Shesiv Erev Shalem. There is a noite Shaleki Yisrael Kiven. Shein Avodah Zarah Atzma Sheivn Lazerak Eiza Chok Akom Lahach Siman Zelo Avodah Zarah. Zelo Matzina B'Kagam Nishas B'Staklos V'Gam Tzad Archok Min Achiul Yesh Lahachmer Menasel Avodosam Kechok Shalem V'Lem Madbeis V'Stems Afshe Shein Af Lahach. So if it was made take by the cloister v'chulu, so there's a chokam in a chiyur. You could say not to, but the Madbeis and the stems, there's no Indian to be machma. V'tzuras hakmorim im yesham k'may tzuras malachim v'shar anoshim she'en evdim v'tzuras v'shar anoshim she'en evdim v'tzuras hakmorim. And it said the stamps have tzuras of kmorim, but still that no one's oividlan. V'stelafein any roy yishum yisur v'mitzcha behem b'achzakosam v'toyach shor stamps shall start medinas. What I'm reading between the lines in the second piece over here in the Igris Moshe is that he thought that the pshat and if you would have asked him the pshat in this agora, he would say that a cross, every cross is lizakona bi'alma. The cross is not an avodah zarah. A cross is not an avodah zarah. That's the way he seems to learn. I think there were many Gedolei Yisrael, the Struvas from the Maria Sad, many Gedolei that did think that a cross is avodah zarah. Alamai, this is a vensach. If this cross was made in a
Was it starting? Maria?
no, Talmud of the Talmud of Chassam Sofer. Yeah, recent. So he says that l'chumra, very much l'chumra. He just reads that if Taka the Shesi V'Ere was made and L'noi B'Alma, I think Ramosha is reading no. That you see that he says nah. That he thinks then he says a third thing. Afordinti, the Gamkin probably. The Gamkin less listakol metam ze. So basically, with 3 points here, Ligis Moshe. So the first point is he's saying that in the stamps, the Shesi V'Erev or pictures that's Lanoi B'Alma. It's Lanoi B'Alma. It's maybe Taka from Edis Chassidus. But it's no ba'alma, it's not avodah zarah. Number 2, he says Shesi V'Erev is b'chal not avodah zarah. And number 3, the din is that even if they have tzuras that are known as to be avodah zarah, but they placed it in the merchets, and people bathe there and they're mashed in there, so we say because it's man shein and noig minig alakus, the goy madach mevazit. So obviously, even though it's a tzura of an avodah zarah, then it's mutter for Jew to go to that bathhouse. So the Igris Moshe, all 3 is shaykh by the stamps. It's number 1, the pictures of Illinois. Number 2 is the Chashesi V'Erev, and even the Tzuras Melachim, no one's with it. And number 3, it's made, and it's the way that they later put a thing on the stamp and they throw in the garbage. So, okay.
How about when I was in the army in the 70s, we had to go to a church, go steps, you go down, and you have to bend down. I cannot walk back. So they do it on purpose. They want you to bend down to the cross. The church.
The church. Why did you have to go to the church?
To go there.
No, that's not also the church over there. You have to bend down to go.
But why?
But why is the Israeli army allowing that their soldiers to go there?
No, we had to go to check something.
Some
mission, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that they have. It was like 4 guys. and we're going in. So I have to bend down. So I told them I did like this, to make sure. But they do it on purpose. They want you to go into.
I hear. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, according to Yigis Moshe, the Shesi Erev is nothing.
This is how it is shown.
Right. So, right. And, okay. So back to the Madveyas that the person asked me. So obviously the third reason the Kula by stamps is not shaykh like coins so much. Although you could argue that coins also, people throw them as a and the other three two are true. It's not in Switzerland with the Hadayom, the Matbeis and the flag has its Shesivier.
Yeah.
Plus with the plus.
Oh, I had a shaila in my mind. Could be Bachlal, all these Matbeis that have it's a plus, it's not a cross. But it's not so poshut. It's not so poshut because there is a Rosh, the funny Rosh. There's a Rosh in Sukkah, Peri Gimel. He says, Shait Lagabi the Nanuyim, that a person shouldn't go up, down, right, left, because then it looks like he's going Shesi Ve'erev. It seems that could be at least a mold that the Shesi Ve'erev was a plus. And I think like a plus. Yeah.
Plus symbol.
Yeah, not that it was longer. So in America today, when you see a Shesi Ve'erev, it's like a T. A T, like the letter T.
Okay.
But
you mean the sign.
right.
Oh, I get it.
Right, but I think a mall in Europe, it could because Vahoraya from Switzerland, that they have in mind the Indian of the cross, but it's like a plus sign.
In what instance, by Switzerland?
Huh?
In what the flag?
The flag.
Oh, the flag. Oh,
and their Madveyas all has it, and I think they have in mind Shesi Ve'erev. So, but it's not. It's I think it's lakula. Bottom line is, I think all the points can be masking over here. When it's a medal that was given by the government and it was, but so it's not stam. You could argue over there. But Mashenkin, these madbeyas. First of all, you could say that the similar kula to what Moshe says about the stamps. Could say. Also, people throw it. They're not knowing with chivas with the currency. Yeah, now that it became an old currency, but when it was made, it wasn't. They didn't mint these coins knowing that in 200 years it's going to be a double shivas, whatever. And then there is the svara the pchal shesiviyad is nothing, but it's a shveda svara. I think not everyone agrees with that. But the other svara is that it was made l'noy alma, so therefore I think it's no problem. You can hold on to it. For sure, could sell it and make the money. It's mutabanoah.
You can sell
it. Since that's what I'm saying. You could sell it and have an oah. But since I was already looking about this, I did a search. So when you do a search, funny, like interesting things come up. So I see an article over here in a sefer, and the story about Rabbi on the bells. Beautiful story. That Le'ezik Nusa, they asked him to give a brocha on Madbeis. Apparently he's used to them. Rebbe Shazach, yeah.
It was in Israel?
Yeah, apparently. Or maybe it was in Switzerland. I don't know where. Didn't say where it was. And they put he does it? He benched the geld.
Who does?
So he said they should put the madveis on the table and they should put a matpachas on it. And he put his hand on the matpachas. And he gave a broch. There was one of the chassidim which was from Switzerland, and he saw that the Rebbe is giving a broch on the matbeyas. He quickly took out of his pocket a Swiss coin, and he put it on the table. Rege kememya, Reb Aaron, felt it, and he was nizdazeya, and he said, "Take the thing off the table," and he right away went to wash his hands in the Tilas Yadayim.
Oh, Ad Kedei Kach.
Wow. Ad Kedei Kach. Hagavurka told another beautiful story that he was once.
He's the one where the Rebbe came to him and always took off his towel and gave the Rebbe a hand.
Yeah. So the other thing was that they said that it's interesting. Yeah, that everyone wanted him to see him. That everyone wanted to shake his hand. Like he was once staying in he was staying somewhere, and he couldn't sleep. The little bit of sleep he used to do every night. That night he couldn't sleep. So in the morning he asked that they should help him figure out that he couldn't sleep one drop. They found in that house there was a chumash with a pirush, no, with a pirush from Moses Mendelssohn. As you do it from the Chassam Sofer, had a big akpod befrat on this guy Moses Mendelssohn. Even though in his perhaps in his private life he walked around like a fromme yid, but he was a Mesa Samadiach. He was a Mesa.
Worse than Hitler. You know,
Yeah, he did. He perhaps himself he ate kosher but Rahman al he was such a klippa that was so he said now he knew why he couldn't sleep. I get the bottom line of both stories is that it's he didn't see the matbeya and he didn't see the book, but
they were there.
But he felt it. He felt it. And true, what's the story that the Rebbe came and the Rebbe came incognito, as in Gavan with and he was dressed then when he was in Europe. He was dressed like yeah. And he took off his. He said, "The Kenzach nicht behalten von mir." So anyway, so Taka, we see.
This why the Rabbi doesn't shake hands. He's afraid whoever shake his hands, maybe not Tame.
I don't know.
I shook his hand.
Okay.
Kissed it.
Okay. Okay. You know what? Bottom line, it's mutter. I think it's clear that it's mutter. And lamai takazoy. If a person look, if you live in Switzerland, you can't say, well, this, what are you going to do? You're not going to deal with the money. Okay. Someone asked me a shaila. He called me. The problem is he didn't give me a shaila. He gave me a tshuva. He bought already fish, kosher fish in Costco. And his friend told him it's not a big deal. All you got to do is wash it off. That's what it says in Shulchan Aruch. So he didn't call me.
And this is a whole batch or then cut the fish.
The goyim cut it with the reif knives.
It was part of the thing.
Okay. So let me read for you inside. It says then, true. It's true but not true. It's true and not true. Let's read it in Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch says, "Chotach kishuim b'sakim shel basar. Mutar la'ochlam l'chol b'gereida b'levad sheyigred memakim achatach." That he cut cucumbers with a fleshka knife. So then he just, because it was cold, he rubs off a little from the cucumbers, a little bit. He's goited a little bit from the cucumbers, so the bisari goes off, and you're allowed to eat it with milk. So the Pischei Tshuva says, "I'm b'Tshuvas Chavas yours that Siman Kuf Ein Gimel B'Dag Sheniftach B'Sakin Shalom Tkicham V'Horish Dechenevi V'Shavsher Mokim Negiyas Sakin Yafa Afka B'Kaim Alam Siman Tzadik Vav Chotach Kishurim B'Sakin Shal Basar B'Gereidem Mipnei Shekishon Lachim V'Chem B'Dag Yeshloimer Desham Dover Kalu Ligeroid Tzaz מבית פיסקי שלא מיירק שנחתכו דק איך יגרק כל החתיכה קטנה מכל צדדים. Over there in Shulchan Aruch is talking about it's easy to be goaded a little bit from the top of the cucumber. Obviously it wasn't cut little pieces, it was cut one cucumber in half, so you could be goaded. If you have to be do kedei klipa, because kedei klipa, even though it's not, but kedei klipa means it's nitel kula ke'echad. It's kedei netila, which is goyvet edzba. There's kedei klipa, but it has to be that you cut it with a knife and nitel kula ke'echad. And then there's gereida, which is you take the knife and you rub off the little top layer. But if you're going to have to say with a fish that you're going to take kedei klipa, not everyone has such a good knife that can cut like. By the time you cut, you ruined half the fish. So he says you could be makel. Alkeina marti. So vim name aliklev yafset kulay. Koma kama marti sheyifsha alav mayim. The yaver alav bekoyach bechudei shel sakin the Gereide Mamish Mibosar Adog Loi Boy. That's what the Chavas Yoy says. It's true. Shechnor brings from the Chavas Yoy that he said that a guy has fish, kosher fish, but the guy who was cutting the fish used the regular knife. He's cutting shrimp, hulu, he's cutting other things, and the knives are dirty. They have on it, from the fish from the goyim. So really, apidin of the Shulchan Aruch, you're supposed to do gereide. You have to do gereide, but you can't do gereide here. So
Does it make a difference if the knife
Cut the top, right?
hot stuff
Yeah,
or
well,
cold?
well, the guy
we don't know what to use it. So we say, so the emphasis are like this. You have to look in the older Mefarshim on Shulchan Aruch. It sounds pretty clear. Din is the din. Chavas Yoy is talking about it already happened. It already happened. Someone came. Someone. B'diavad. So now this guy is calling me. He's not getting. I don't understand why he called me. I told him, if you're asking me a question. No, he didn't offer me. He just wanted to check that what his friend, the Psak, his friend told him is right. So I told him it doesn't make sense. If you called me before you go to Costco, I told you no, you're not allowed to buy it. But Frat, you live here in New York. It's a felt fish store. Go here. Well, it's a few dollars.
Big right.
Yeah, but the Yid has to make money. The guy doesn't have to pay tuition. The Yid has to pay tuition. So we have to give business to each other. But so if you ask me, we ask me, if you call me before you go to Costco, I say no, you're not allowed to buy it. If you're going to buy it, you're going to have to take off Kedei Klipa. Now that you already went to Costco, but you didn't already go to Costco, you went to Costco, al das, relying on the Chavas Yoy, that the Chavas Yoy said, if you already bought it. But he didn't say, go buy it, al das.
If I want to go to Costco to buy a fish, they even got just the fish.
Oh, yeah, bring him your knife.
Bring
Bring your own knife.
in my house.
Oh, you're bringing your own knife? The emphasis, you could go to any goyish fish store, and if it's kosher fish that's muchach, that it's kosher, you can bring him your knife, and if he does it in front of you, it's not a problem.
Doesn't cut the fish. They've got the fish at the pier.
No, there's still stores that do it in front of you. There's still stores that do it in front of you. There's still
Then,
stores that
then you
do it.
cannot use his board because it's cutting the fish.
So you wash off his board. You'll make sure it's washed
So
off.
many things. Buy
Yeah,
one and
buy in. That's what I'm saying. You're in New York. You can go to the Heimish fish store here on Avenue J. What do you?
Glaciers, all of it.
Well, the stores have fish. What's today's the Mac up is going into Costco.
And ShopRite has a fish at
Right.
ShopRite. I'm friendly with the guy who works in the fish department at ShopRite.
But there's a halacha there. There's a kosher fish there.
So if you want it a cheaper price than the Hamish
They
place,
should give your name. They'll give me a cheaper price.
How about when I go to Berlin and I find that they're selling me watermelon, cantaloupe?
Oh, but first of all, there's a hechsher.
Blue ribbon.
First of all, the hechsher. It's a from a yid. As a hemish from a yid. Secondly, yeah. If it would be a goy, so then it would have to be done. If it's tam, if they have nothing else in the store besides fruits, we can make all that. Anyway, he's a from yid. He's reliable. Yeah, and he's a reliable guy, even without the hechsher. He's a from a yid.
Shimon, very nice guy.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing.
now the whole world knows it's online.
So someone asked me, Azoy. So she cut up with a fleishke knife. She cut up onions. She cut onions, and she cut the onions with a fleishke knife. And then now is a new mishigas, pickled onions. Pickled onions.
He makes it for
Oh,
vinegar or something.
oh yeah. No, but Avi does it with the fish. Can. Right, mote. It's a new mishigas. No, it's good. It's good. They take the onions.
Onion is
No, it's delicious. It's delicious. The misnishke baltime, verstehst du? They put, yeah. They put water, sugar, everything to their sugar.
Next Sunday.
Yeah.
And this is what do you mean? The stuff that you're bringing now for pomegranates exactly. Wait, the onions, the onions sitting in sugar and sugar and sugar. They taste more sugary than the sugar itself. Than sugar cane. Huh? עשית לזה עם אבטיח? כן? אבא שלך עושה... כן? יפה, יפה. To pickle it. We had here for a little bit on Coney Island, אתה זוכר? היה פה קוסי? Mr. Pickle,
It's on Lower East Side.
yeah, Mr. Pickle, היה פה קצת. היה כל דבר שאתה יכול לחשוב, היה pickle. כן, yeah. Anyway, so she said she covered the fleishka knife, and then she put it into 1 pound jars, 3-4 1 pound jars. Now she was asking if she could take these pickled onions and put it in a milk sandwich and put it in the toaster. So I had to put it in a panini and make it with cheese. So let me read it quickly in Shulchan Aruch.
Probably it tastes good.
Very good.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, the Lechoire, the Atazah. Pasuk b'Shulchan Aruch. Siman Tzadik Vav Sif Aleph. Snoin esil k'shchot chamasakin shal basa ben yomer. Oy she'enu mekunich. Asur la'achla mechalab. Ha'chikul me'madka ma'chatach kedei netilas makim sheka'oy v'etzba. Oy she'temen v'loy v'yitam basa. Shaz muta badach. Yesh yomer. Dude, l'enu ben yomer. V'mekunich. I don't care. Even if the knife was not a ben yomer. Even if it was clean, but it doesn't matter because the tznoy v'silka is sharp, like an onion. It's sharp. So the tam comes out and it doesn't expire after 24 hours. If he bishla mecholov, tzarich shishim keneged kol ma shenaga masakim bahem vodin lechotcha masakim shel goyim. And now you have shishim keneged. Yeah. Mchotchem dag. Tzarich l'shar shishim keneged kol atznain. The night you need to have shishim connected the entire tznoin. So the shach afapi shom konach fenoki bevade doesn't matter. The avav chur for the tznoin v'silke v'tochke the sakina. Polet guf sakin guf atam shaboy v'ave kemoy iser bein. It's like iser bein hilke chloidom l'shar not barna deliil simen tzadikei the muter. Over here there's no the tam doesn't get diluted because the charifus makes it the duchke the sakina makes it come out like heat. And the charifus of the onion, the charifus of the tznoin, makes that usually we say that after 24 hours, the tam becomes pogum, and after the tam goes from one place to the other place, it gets weakened. But it doesn't, because when something that's chotif, it stays fresh. One more nakud in the shach. Shach says, I don't know what silk is. The called chaticha v'chaticha neser kedei netila. Iu haina dafti shetznaim cotton masak. This is all the Shulchan Aruch was talking about when the tznaim was small. Oy she'ein asakin lefaneinu shenuchal l'shar boy. Avo k'she'asakin cotton matznaim v'hu lefaneinu. Pshita dein tzara shishim. Ela keneged asakin. You only need shishim keneged asakin. You don't need to Amiu besakin shall goy, but shall isur l'dedan the kaim alach chetich nasa nevela b'chol isurim. Imkein kol cheticha v'ticha nasa nevela kedei netila. Imkein k'shachot dag tzorich l'shak neged kol atznoin amshu yoysa masakim v'doy. Bottom line, what is the shach saying? The shach saying is like this: if you took a goy knife, a trefa knife, and you cut the onions, they all become cheticha nasas nevela. So all these onions, it's like a one shtik chazer. Like a one shtik nevela. Now you need to have shishim connected this. But if it's basar and chalav, basar is mutter and chalav is mutter. You can't say that you have more basar if this knife is 1 ounce. You can't say there's more meat than 1 ounce in here. You chop, but there's the time of 1 ounce of meat. So that's it. That's what you have. So if you have shishim connected this 1 ounce, it's good. So back to our shaila. I said, the emesis, if it would have been a 1 pound, so how big is today? Knives are not so big. A knife is very thin. How big is the fleishka knife already, right? So it's a half an ounce. So now I said, if the onions they put into a big jar, So now it's kavish kamavushal. So now you probably would have had 60 in the Keneged. You would have 60 Keneged. It's not even an ounce. It's how big is the piece of knife that they, huh? Yeah. You would have had LMI because she told me that she put it in smaller jar, half pounds. I'm not sure in the half-pound jar because you have to look at each jar separately. To say 2-3 jars, I bought with each whatever. So I said if it had been a big jar, well, given I would say that it would have been a big jar. I would say that the pickles were mava. Even it's not benyoim because right. So, but because she said she put it in smaller jars, so I said no, you can't put it in a panini. If you're ready, put it panini maker, the sandwich, eat it, it's fine. Because I think probably even in a half a pound jar, you'd say. But if it was big, I would say, oh, hayash. It's each one is separate. It has to be in one. One.
Yeah.
Right. If it's in one, it all gangs up to be mevatel, the little bit of bossa that's here. So therefore I said, look, because you put it in half pounds, I'm not sure. So lechatchila don't make it with milk sandwiches, but if you're ready to make milk sandwich, enjoy it. Okay. Beautiful week. We should have atzlocha. It's
You are, right?
How many wash?
He said,
He lost. Not to mind.
one kid holding his father, one kid his mother, his grandfather, his teacher. One kid born case and rash. The teacher read everybody and said, winner, one award. So he kept this the Jewish list out and get $10. After that, the phone was I don't understand. What the class you are the one. Anyways, you know, business is business.
There you go.